Hello and welcome back to my channel. We are going to do mail-in ballots today. Today is September 28th. We are about a little over a month out from the election, and we are going to talk mail-in ballots, voter fraud, and then we'll just keep covering bits of the election and we'll put it all in one big playlist. Okay, so this is part one. Alright, so let's talk about voter fraud and mail-in voting. I don't know if any of y'all remember, but in 2016, Donald Trump sang the same horn, but it's going to be so rigged and nobody loves him and he's not going to win because there's going to be millions of illegals voting illegally and blah, 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 blah. The man yaps a lot. He thought he was going to lose and he was making up excuses because that's what Donald Trump does. But yappity yap 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 in 2016. Well, when the votes came in and he was about 3 million shy of the popular vote, that became the magical number of illegal voting in California. Didn't happen. There's literally zero proof. The administration or the group of people that Donald Trump put together, the election commission, like against voter fraud that he put together, couldn't find anything. In fact, the only mass reported voter fraud that we've seen came out of North Carolina from the Republicans. So, yeah. Not the point, though. So, that was Donald Trump's whole thing. He tried to create a whole commission and create a whole distraction because he could not handle the fact that he lost by 3 million. So, that was the magical number of people that illegally voted. Well, now he's harping the same tune, except for the fact that he is very, very worried that if voting is allowed as wide scale as it is right now, and all those ballots are counted, he's going to lose because Republicans have a tendency to only win on voter suppression. They tried to do it in 2016, and they're trying to do it now. Trump is asking for poll watchers, and he is setting it up to try and throw out all mail-in ballots because if everyone's allowed to vote, he said it himself, a Republican would never win again because they're popular, their opinions are very, very unpopular. So, now that we've established that, let's talk about the safety of mail-in voting. Mail-in voting has been done for forever. Like, since before I was alive forever. Before my mom was alive. It's not new. States like Florida have been doing massive amounts of mail-in voting for years. California has been doing it for years, and they have massive amounts. They are saying that it's going to be a little bit tight with all the ballots coming in, but they think they can handle it. They keep saying they can handle it. I'm hoping that they can handle it. But there are a lot of things that you need to know that keep that quote-unquote voter fraud out. See, the thing is, you can't just print up ballots and send them to precincts and think that they'll automatically be counted. That is not how this works. That is not how any of this works. First off, they check to see if the ballot coming over... Okay, first off, they don't just hand everybody... They don't just mail out ballots to everyone, everywhere. They don't. I actually don't know of a state. I was looking into it. I haven't looked at about 50 states now. But all the states I've looked at do not have that. They have sent out absentee applications to everyone where you have to fill it out to get an absentee ballot, but not the ballot itself. Okay. Now that we've established that, you can't just do that. You have to be a registered voter. You had to sign up for a mail-in ballot. That's just how this works. So there are not going to be millions of ballots printed up and just stuffed in the mail in places like Texas and Florida. That's not how this works. Okay. So the next step is when it comes back in and they check to make sure that you are a registered voter. They compare your name. And they compare everything. So if there is a typo on the card that you filled out, let's say somebody missed, with the last name, or with the first name, Ava. Let's say you spell it A-V-A-A, which is a normal spelling. But let's say someone decided to be weird and spell it A-V-A-E. And let's say someone mistook Ava with an A, or Ava with an E and put Ava with an A, and then they match it up, and that doesn't work, they'll toss your ballot. So the names have to match completely. Dates of birth, all of that stuff. There can't be a typo. They will reject your ballot for that. Then they go a step further and they look at your signature. If your signature doesn't match, they'll bounce it back to you, and you have to correct it, and so forth and so forth. There are stopgaps in place to ensure that even the ballots that are sent out match the people that are getting them. Okay? Let's end that. So there's not going to be all of these ballots printed from foreign countries. There's not going to be like 50 ballots sent to a dead person's house. None of that is going to happen. The things you do have to worry about, on the other hand, are the fact that the post office is slowing down mail to the point something of mine has been sitting less than 10 miles from my house 4 days at the main post office because they haven't started it. And I don't know when it's coming. I don't know. Mail is at a snail's point in the middle of bumblefuck nowhere. So yeah. Then Donald Trump is going to question the legitimacy, and we're going to have to fight to make sure that on election night he doesn't just claim victory and try to throw out the ballots that come in afterwards, because a lot of states will allow you to mail in your mail-in ballot up to the day of the election. Again, we are going to do a video covering certain voting rules. I will be looking into that for every 50 states, so don't worry, I will cover that. All right. So you have to make sure that you get it back in time. Preferably, if you can get your ballot now, if it is sent out and has come in, mail it back now. That gives it 4 weeks, 2 weeks to try and get there, and then another 2 weeks if it gets sent back or bounced back to you. The other option that you have is every local place has an election, like an official election commission. You can drop your ballot off there during normal business operations. And I highly suggest, that's what I intend to do with my mom's ballot. I'm going to vote in person there. Early absentee voting has started in my state. I'm going to go in and vote when I take my mom's ballot, when it comes in the mail, in. If you are in states like Pennsylvania, you have to go one step further, and you have to make sure that you're putting your ballot in the privacy envelope, and then the envelope that has to be sent back in. If you are missing that privacy envelope or the other envelope, they will toss your ballot. So make sure that you have both. Also, make sure you look up all of the local election laws and all of the local, like, when to get people registered to vote. And by all means, pressure your friends, your family, everyone you know into voting. This is single-handedly the most important election of any of our lifetimes. We are on the verge of a dictatorship, and we need it to stop. All right, guys, I will see you tomorrow for part 2, which is the Red Mirage. Bye, guys.